What is popping out? It's your man, Clockboy Bales. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly. Of course, obviously, I wanted to make a video after the game, but I just thought it was not the right time. Obviously, given the circumstances, I would have done it if the way that the game ended did not take place. Obviously, I'll cut to the chase. Obviously, those who did not see it obviously probably found out about it on social media, but Jordan Love obviously suffered a gruesome injury, or an injury that looked to be very gruesome at the very end of the game when trying to obviously lead a drive to basically hopefully score a touchdown to win the game. It was obviously, a long shot. They had to put Malik Willis in, and he didn't even get to throw the ball off. But unfortunately, the Packers fall 0-1 against a very good Philadelphia Eagles team. And I'm not too mad about it, the way that the game was. They didn't do terrible. I mean, they did show some good offense, compared to like in the past where, we started out not really showing our identity wasn't there. He wasn't looking, we were able to really go down the field and actually contribute. Obviously, there were a couple things that kind of gave the game away, and there was a lot of things that happened in this game that kind of did seem to favor the Eagles more than us. One thing that did happen, obviously, in this game was, the turf was just a monstrosity for everyone. I mean, I wanted to sit there and say, oh man, I can't blame the turf for the reason why we lost, because nobody could tackle. Not a single person. And Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts, I mean, they both looked kind of iffy out on the field. I mean, both of them really, and even receivers were trying to get open, but so many drops, on our side, and there were lots of penalties too on our side, a lot of, it was a very, we were penalized a lot in this game. I mean, I'm not trying to be a downer, but that was brutal. There was a lot of things that I just hope that we never have to play, or the Packers or any team has to play a game in Brazil, because single-handedly that turf was so bad. Everybody looked like they were on ice skates. It just, it just was too much to really ask for. But that there just makes me really want to sit there and say, oh gosh, I hope we never have to do this again, Anyways, Packers lose 34-29. It was a very great game, a very great offensive game. I'm not going to say the defense played too well, but honestly, no, the Eagles defense played like trash too. No one could tackle. Everyone was getting open. Everybody was getting lost. You're not going to really judge. I can't judge a defense just based on how that turf was alone. It really was bad. We were able to get a couple turnovers, which was nice. But you know what? This is the first game of the season, and I'm not going to put anybody under the bus just because of a bad turf, and that just was a bad monstrosity of what really occurred with that turf. Going on with obviously I'll get on with the Jordan Love stuff. I wanted to wait until I found out more information before I really made a video. But Jordan Love, obviously, at the very end of the game, third to last play of the game, suffered an injury. Looked like to be his knee. People were claiming it popped. Then people saw him walking around. Test came back today that is his ACL is intact, which means it's not a season-ending injury as of right now. His ankle, I believe, is to be fine, so that is at least good news. But the thing is, it's like, how long will Jordan Love be out? That's the question. We don't know anything right now. Obviously, I think we'll get on to that questionnaire later. But if I had a prediction or a belief, I'd say that it's possibly his MCL, which would mean he's going to probably be out maybe about 2 months. Now, that is obviously huge because as in preseason, we really did see how we weren't able to, our quarterbacks, our backup, and now we have another guy, Malik Willis. I'm not sitting there and saying that the game's over, but goodness, I don't know. I really have no idea. But I just hope he can come back and play as soon as he can. I mean, that's just the goal. I mean, pretty much Love is the MVP of this team, you know. But let's go over the stat line, shall we? 1734, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an INT. He was only sacked once, and I guess you would say his quarterback rating was 83. I really wasn't that great of a game by either quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts went 20 at 34, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked twice, and his quarterback rating was 80. So, I mean, literally both Love and Hurts did not really have the greatest of games. You know, they were able to get the ball down the field, and you know, a lot of it, you know, came down to the end where I could say Philadelphia was very gutsy with a lot of the play calling. But you know what? Everybody was able to really do a lot offensively. They both averaged around the same amount of yards. Josh Jacobs, despite a slow half, he really turned on in the second half. 16 carries, 84 yards, as well as 2 catches for 20. He's just a couple more from breaking that record of the most receptions in the NFL without a touchdown. Even Emmanuel Wilson, the backup, 4 carries, 46 yards. I think they should absolutely give him the ball more. He really actually looked very good, even 2 catches for 2 yards. I want to see Wilson get the ball more. I really do. On the Philadelphia side, Saquon Barkley just was honestly, I feel bad for any Giants fan right now, but he literally looked like his rookie season. 24 carries, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns, as well as 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown in the air. What a day for Saquon Barkley. He looked unbelievable for Philadelphia. On the receiving end for the Packers, Jaden Reed led the day with 4 catches for 138 yards and a touchdown. Pretty much I give him the game ball. I think he and a carry for 33 yards and a touchdown. Don't forget about that as well. He gets the game ball today. He really looked outstanding. Romeo Doubs, 4 catches for 50 yards. Tucker Kraft, 2 for 37. And Christian Watson, 3 for 13, as well as with the other touchdown. There was one fumble committed, but it was recovered by Green Bay. And then on the receiving end for Philadelphia, A.J. Brown led the way, 5 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Everybody's already saying Jair is washed after A.J. Brown pretty much looked phenomenal against him, but I'll be honest with you, that turf sucked. So really, we don't even know if that was out of it. Devonta Smith also had a great game, 7 catches for 84 yards. Dallas Goedert, 4 for 31. Grant Calcaterra, 1 for 11. Kenneth Gainwell, 1 for 10. Jalen Hurts obviously threw 2 interceptions and also committed a fumble as well. And a lot of it, there was a lot of turnovers in this game. The defense obviously didn't play as great, but they did some things that were considerably okay. Everybody got a lot of playing time. It was good to really see that. Everybody rotated in there, and it was great to see that. Quay Walker and Jabon Bullard both led the day with 11 tackles. For the Philadelphia Eagles, former Wisconsin Badger and Brown Deer native Zach Baun led the way with 15 tackles, and Reed Blankenship had himself quite a game with 8 tackles and the interception for Philadelphia as well. On the Packers side, also, and then Zach Baun also got both sacks that Philadelphia was able to get that night. Obviously, Packers just landed, so we're not going to know the injury, but we'll get to that later. And then Keyshawn Nixon and Rashawn Gary both came away with a sack today. And the interceptions, one was made by Jair Alexander and the other made by Xavier McKinney. Not a fantastic day for the kicking unit, but Braden Narvinson went 3 of 4 from the field. Attempted one that was from 40-something, and he missed that, but he made everything under 30 yards, which was good because obviously Carlson was struggling even to make 30 yards. So, and then Elliott went 2 of 2. Not much punting from both teams. Both literally had 2 punts the entire day, and that's what we can really go over. Packers face the Indianapolis Colts at home next week. I'm not really going to say much because I feel like everything that right now, the Packers just landed like just about a half hour ago. They said the ACL is okay. So I think they're going to run a bunch of tests. We're not going to know really anything until they put Jordan Love in the doctors and they're going to see what's wrong. Hopefully it's nothing serious. We've seen the same situation happen with Aaron Rodgers with a knee injury. We saw that in 2018 and it turned out he was okay and somehow managed to be playing through it. But the league is different now. If you're injured, they don't want you out there. And that's how LaFleur was pretty much all last season with a lot of his stars. You know what? Looking at this team, we're so spread out. We have so much talent everywhere. And it's who knows who's going to be the number one guy, It's really great to really see that. We lost. I'm going to sit there and say that we lost to probably a very, very good team. And I'm not at all angry about it. Philadelphia, if you look at all the teams in the NFC, they have the best receivers, one of the best running backs, the best offensive line, and one of the best quarterbacks. This is a tough offense, and even their defense has a lot of stars on there too. So let's be fair and say that they lost to a very good team. And I'm not going to be too upset about this. The only thing that's really concerning me right now is the whole severity of how Jordan Love is. And obviously, I'll make a video on that once we find out more information down the line. Anyways, injuries suck, and prayers up for Jordan Love. Thankfully, it's not his ACL. And obviously, Packers play the Colts next week. Hopefully a good game at home that the Packers can get a win. And Jordan Love maybe could play. I don't know. But we'll see. If you like what you see, subscribe below. And obviously, don't worry. They're on a better field. They're going to be on turf that we are familiar with. Not turf that makes people slide like they're on ice. So, if you like what you see, subscribe below. Comment with your thoughts. And as always, we will see you next time. Go Pack, go!